Hello students, hope you all are doing well. Children, in our last presentation of chapter 7 of Geography, Lifelines of National Economy, we have discussed about the introduction of the lifelines of national economy, about roadways and its classification. Today we are going to start with railways. Railways are a principal mode of transportation for the goods and passengers in India. It makes possible for all of us to do different activities like business, sightseeing, pilgrimage tours, etc. The Indian Railway Network has a fleet of locomotives and the passenger vehicles, extra vehicles, etc. Indian Railway is now reorganized into 16 zones. But the distribution pattern of railway network is not even. It is largely influenced by the physiographic and economic divisions of our country. In our country, the railways are very well implemented or established in the northern plains, but implementation or the installation of railway lines in deserted areas, hilly areas is a bit difficult. Some of the problems that railway transportation faced are many passengers travel without tickets, thefts and damage of railway property, people who are pulling the chains of the train unnecessarily also caused heavy damage to the railway properties. Next, we will discuss about the pipelines. Pipelines, a very new introduction on the transportation map of our country. Earlier, we were transporting crude oil, petroleum products, natural gas, and other liquid products with pipelines. But now, solids can also be transported through pipeline when it is converted into slurry. There are big pipeline refineries like Barauni, Mathura, and Panipat. Students, pipeline and its installation has some merits and demerits. First of all, the initial cost of laying the pipelines is a bit high, but the maintenance cost is low. And the second benefit is that the transshipment losses and delays is not there if the goods are transported via pipelines. Here on the screen, there are three important pipeline networks of our country. From Assam to Kanpur, from Gujarat to Jalandhar, and from Hazira to Jalandhar. It is HVJ pipeline, which is a very famous pipeline in our country, and it is also known as the artery of pipelines for natural gases. Next is waterways. Waterways, it is the cheapest means of transport, most suitable for carrying heavy and bulky goods, fuel efficient and environment friendly also. Like we have highways in our country and highway numbers in our country, waterways of our country are also defined by its number, like you can see on the screen: National Waterway number 1, number 2, number 3, etc. And the following waterways have been declared as the national waterways by the government of our country. Now we will talk about the major seaports of our country. The Kandla port, which was the first port developed after independence. The Mumbai port, the biggest port of our country with a well-sheltered harbour. Jawaharlal Nehru port, which was planned to decongest or to reduce the traffic of Mumbai port. The Marmagao port, Mangalore port, Kochi port, Tuticorin port, Chennai port, which is one of the oldest artificial ports of our country. Vishakhapatnam, the landlocked port. Paradip port, which is used in the export of iron. Kolkata port, Haldia port are the 12 major seaports of our country, and the major import and export activities of our country are conducted via these ports. Next is Airways. Yes, the most instant, the most fastest, and the most comfortable and prestigious mode of transport, and a bit expensive too. Travel has made access easier to the difficult terrains of our country like high mountains, dreary deserts, dense forests, etc. The areas where no other mode of transport can reach. Airways make it possible. It was nationalized in our country in the year 1953. It provides domestic and international air services. There is one more air services, that is Pavanance Helicopters Limited, which provide helicopter services to Oil and Natural Gas Corporation in its offshore operations. Communication means talking to each other or interaction with each other. Children, today we will discuss about two modes of communication, personal and mass. In personal communication, we will discuss about letters and telephone and its standard in our country India. And in mass communication, we will study about newspaper, radio, films, televisions, magazines, books, etc. First, let's talk about Postal Network. India with the highest postal network of our country. We have two classes of mail, first class mail and second class mail. First class mail means personal letters, envelopes, and basically the lightweight material which can easily be airlifted. Next is second class mail means the book packets, the periodicals, the parcels, and the heavyweight material which will be transported via land or the water transport. For the quick delivery of mails, our country has introduced 6 new mail channels: Rajdhani, Metro, Green, Business, Bulk and Periodical. Telecommunication. India has the largest telecommunication market in Asia. In 1975, Department of Telecom established and MTNL came up. Then in 1995, TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, was established. Then on 1st October 2000, BSNL taken services from Department of Telecom Services. It was introduced on this day. If we talk about STD, 2/3 of Indian villages are covered. In ISD, direct call connected by country code. PCO, all the villages are connected by the services of India. Mass communication. Audiovisual, speeches, live telecast, print, media, newspaper, periodicals, radio, TV, internet, films are various forms of mass communication where the information can be transferred from one to many. And India has a large network in the forms of newspapers, periodicals. Newspapers in India are published in more than 100 languages. India is the largest producer of feature films and videos. We have a very vast mass communication mediums in our country. Now we will talk about international trade. International trade means the exchange of goods and services within the international borders. And it is a very important thing which represents our national income or our GDP. When the goods are sent to other countries, it is called export. When the goods are coming to our country for sale purpose, it is called import. What is balance of payment? The balance of payment is the balance between the export and import. When the export is high but import is less, that is favorable balance of payment. But when the import is high but the export is less, then it is unfavorable balance of payment. Here on the screen you can see a list of the commodities which are exported from India and which are imported to India, and with the percentages you can easily judge that We people are importing much more than exporting our goods to the other countries. Tourism. Obviously, tourism is a very large industry which brings a big amount of income to our country. It helps to our national economy also. If we see the data, as of 2011, 30% of the world trade in services and as an invisible export, and for 6% of overall export of goods and services are done by the tourism. Foreign tourist arrival has witnessed an increase in the last few years, which results to an increase in foreign exchange. More than 15 million people are directly engaged in the tourism industry and they are getting employed with this industry. It provides support to local handicrafts and cultural pursuits also. Tourism promotes national integration. So children, that is all with this chapter. In our next video, we will be meeting with another chapter. Till then, stay at home, study at home, and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.